I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon. This is the business plan with
the Business Zone. The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert.
Oh, this is the business zone with Crystal and Gilbert. Man, you can tell my brain is fried in this heat, Crystal.
Yeah, it's been a long week. Gilbert don't even know his own show. Ooh, we made it to Friday,
We
Gilbert.
made it to Friday. We're lucky.
We're lucky, and it's been, I'm a 2 weeks from tax day. It's been an interesting day. It's been an interesting week. I've been spending long hours, and so I feel you. I'm a little tired too.
Yeah.
Glad that it's Friday.
You know, when they talk about brain being fried, that's me. Right? My brain is fried.
I understand. I understand, co-host. I understand.
Oh man, folks, thank you guys for joining us today. Today we have class in session. That means when we have class in session, that means me and my co-host Crystal, we're going to impart our knowledge onto you. We're going to share some information, and hopefully you guys can partake in the information sharing process. We're going to talk about small businesses today and talk about how you want to level up your infrastructure to get things going. And Crystal is going to share her vast knowledge of multiple years of experience, and I'm going to do the same too. And hopefully you guys can chime in by putting some questions or some comments in the chat so we can exchange information, because you guys may have some really, really great experiences that you want to share with us, and we would really love that. So Crystal, how are you today?
I am good. It's been, like I said, a long week. It's a lot of moving parts to this week. But I made it through, and I'm here on Friday. Looking forward to Saturday so I can go hit some balls. But I have a bit of news. So the young lady that won the Biz Camp, and you've met her. She's been on the show a couple of times. Amila Charles.
Yes.
So Amila Charles won the National Nifty competition. So they had she won that back in the early fall.
Oh, I remember that one. I thought
remember
she won something like a few weeks ago.
Well, yeah, this week she's been in New York at the Nifty conference and the World Business Nifty competition. So she competed on the world stage this week.
Wow. Isn't that amazing, Crystal?
Yes.
And guess what?
What?
You got something to do with that.
I did.
You got your fingerprints all over that.
I am so proud of that young lady. I cannot tell you how proud I am.
Man.
She is just she's just awesome. So she made the top 10 semifinals. But she didn't make it all the way to the top. But she was competing against Ireland and Israel and Japan and Mexico, and so she came in the semifinals. We are so proud of her. And from what I understand, I was speaking with the Nifty group today. She showed up and showed out.
All right, man. That's what I'm talking about. I love that, man. See, I love these young entrepreneurs, and Crystal, believe me, man, if I had a chance to do what you're doing, man, with the youngsters, I would be in there 150%, because to me, the young entrepreneurs, they respond much better to what we do. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They respond much better to entrepreneurship than many of our older adults entrepreneurs. So I love businesses that listen, and like many of my entrepreneurs are women-owned business owners. They listen to me more than the males, so I rather work with them. We have Diana Songbird Collins on here saying, "That's fabulous. Thank you,
well,
Diana.
Diana actually has been a volunteer of ours. She actually she's one of our helpers when we were doing live biz camp. So Diana, I actually think Diana, you were with yeah, because in 2019, that was our last. I don't know if you were there, but that was our last live in 2019. And Amila came out of the 2019 class, but she knows what we've done with these kids over the
Very good.
past 10, as long as she's been around. So proud of her, Gilbert. Oh my God.
I
And
can
she has
imagine.
grown so much. So as soon as the video is available, I will make sure we share it here in the platform. Rhonda is right now, my partner, Rhonda Holbert. She's actually in New York.
Oh,
She went
really?
with her. She went with her and she was there. Yes. Oh, okay. So Diana was there. She had her. Yeah, she was there. So Mila, I mean, this young lady has just grown so much,
That's
and
great.
it's so funny, Gilbert, when I got the email from the text from Rhonda when she made it to the finals, she texted me, and so I was consulting with a client at the time who was asking me about business stuff, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I just have to brag right now, and she goes, wow, and she says she's doing better than us adults. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we do, man. We love to brag about our entrepreneurs when they're following our instructions, they're doing well, they're growing, they're advancing. We love that.
Yes,
Love it.
I am just so proud of her. So when she comes back, we're going to get her on the show again. She's just doing amazing. When she goes, she's 16 now, so she was 15, or she was like 14 and a half when she came to us. No, she was actually, yeah, she was 14, so now she's 16 or 17, and so
She's
just
17, she's
imagine,
17 going on to 37 because
right, just
she acts like a
imagine.
grown woman.
Right. Just imagine what her world's going to be like from college. I mean,
She's
she's already
phenomenal,
done some
man.
amazing stuff in her teens.
Yeah.
Just imagine going on I actually see this young lady at some point being the president of the country. She's
Yeah.
going to do some
She's
remarkable things.
phenomenal. She's
She's
phenomenal.
really phenomenal. So just want to make that announcement that one of our students was on the world stage this weekend.
Yeah.
This week.
She's
I'm so
she's a
proud of her.
firecracker and a trailblazer, and I love that.
Yeah.
We need to get her back on the show so we can talk to her about our accomplishments and where she's headed next.
I will definitely get her. We will work when soon as she gets back. When she gets back to LA. So
I won't be surprised, Crystal, if she launched a podcast while she's at college, to do these type of entrepreneurial things.
well, she
I wouldn't be
actually,
surprised.
and you shouldn't be surprised because she's already teaching.
See, that's what I'm
She's already
talking about.
teaching. 2 weeks ago, she came to our we do our Business Institute program
Yeah.
on the weekends on Saturdays, and so 2 weeks ago she actually came and spoke to the kids about creating a TikTok video in order to market their business. She was
That's
just
great.
on fire.
Maybe she
So
could teach us a few things about TikTok marketing.
I know. Right.
I would love to learn a few things about that.
Quite agree with that. But yes, so that was my week. I was in addition to my client that's going public, so I was working hard there. And then I have a client, one of the nonprofits, they had proposals due, so I had to create a budget for them. And then of course my tax client. So this has been a wild ride week.
And I know you can't wait until this month is over.
Right. I am kind of looking forward to it. I'm trying to get to my blog, man. I can't even get, I don't have the brain power, bandwidth afterwards to do that. So,
yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. I don't remember when I was running the SBA Navigator program there for the Urban League, the Los Angeles Urban League. Man, I'm telling you, man, it was so intense every week. You got to put the materials together. You got to get the presenters together. You got to, after that, you got to put together the attendance roster and all of that. Make sure you tally up everything. And man, my brain was so engaged. So when the last class was over on the 30th, I'm going, man, I felt so relieved. I said, man, even though I love, helping the small businesses, doing the things I was doing, my brain was just so engaged, man. I just needed
there's so many moving parts, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of why I love it when I teach for other organizations, because I don't have to put the work together. I just have to show up and present. It's like speaking, show up and present, and then you leave.
Yes.
But I've been doing a lot of coaching. Hey, Candace, I have been doing a lot of coaching this week as a result of your Navigator program. I've had much love to you too. She's sending us much love. She's
Hey, Candace, what am I, chopped liver? How come you're not saying hi to me?
So Candace is doing well. See, she's been winning awards left and right in Culver City. She is the Culver City darling.
Love it. Love it.
The Chamber of Commerce there. I'm watching you, Candace.
Love it, Candace. You need to let us know so we can brag about you, Candace.
Yeah, she's been doing.
Because we love to brag about our entrepreneurs. So let us know, man, so we can put you out there.
She laughed. Yeah, she's the Chamber of Commerce darling for Culver City.
I just love that.
But yeah, so it's been pretty good. And I got the kids. The kids are actually doing their YEC Youth Entrepreneur Champions competition. They submit their videos on the 18th of April.
Yeah.
And then they do their live presentation. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Michael. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, look at that. Candace says they're trying to get her to run for council. Go ahead, girl.
That's what I'm talking about. Now that's what I'm talking about. Michael, appreciate you loving our program. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So so they're going to do their presentations for the YEC competition youth, and that's a Union Bank sponsored program.
Yeah.
And so the kids are going to compete against I want to say 12 other schools. This is that one where our kids took first place, took all of the prizes last year. I don't think we're going to do that this year, but I'm hoping that there's a couple of little stars, so we might get 1 and 2. So we're preparing them. So now it gets intense. I got tomorrow. We have we'll be meeting on to the end of the month. So
yeah.
It's a busy month. Busy month.
I love it. Love it.
So today, guys, Gilbert and I are excited because this is Financial Literacy Month. And as a business owner, one of the things that we have to, you are the filet mignon. Oh,
thank you, Candace. Thank you. I appreciate all of that, Candace. Thank you so much.
Chopped liver. So we Gilbert and I, we've been coaching and consulting with small businesses for the greater part of our careers, and it is so important that businesses understand the business financial literacy and how money works in their business. So today we're talking about money smartness, actually, and the power of money and your business. So it's more than just having a product. It's making sure that the business is profitable and that the business is bankable.
Yeah.
That's really, really important. You may not, those numbers, you may not want a loan, but there will come a time when it's time to expand your business, and you're going to need a line of credit. You may need that financing, but you can't get any of that if you're not understanding how important the money part of your business, the financial part and the structure of your business is. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so really important stuff. I find numbers sexy as all heck because that's how the money's coming into your bank. But I could be a little biased because that's my feel, but I find it sexy, man. I think
numbers are sexy.
Sexy. Money is sexy when it comes. Because you know what, Gilbert, I was teaching several classes this week, and I was telling them for the new Women's Business Center, and I was telling them that you put a lot of investment, not just money, but time and energy, your passion, your love, you sacrifice your family, you sacrifice your free time to be in business.
For sure.
Right.
For
And
sure.
so you lose more when you, and it's not to say that, failure means that you're the worst person in the world, but you should be learning from that failure. But if you can prevent that failure by just understanding your numbers and understanding money, then you would be that much far ahead of the game. And so don't let your numbers be the reason that your business fails. That's basically what I'm saying.
No, shouldn't be at all. And if you don't feel like you're competent with your numbers, you want to surround yourself with folks who understand it. Folks like Coach Crystal Mitchell. If you don't understand the numbers, you bring her in, have her give you some advice on that, and have her coach you on those numbers. But don't leave yourself out on an island not knowing your numbers, because I'm telling you, it's going to come back to haunt you. Many of our small businesses saw that happen during COVID. During COVID, when they're trying to get money, they're trying to get a grant or a line of credit or a loan, they couldn't get it because the numbers were not adding up. So just want to let you know, guys.
Right. And that was a big thing. Yeah. I was just talking to a client today, Gilbert, and she was saying, oh my God, I lost out on money because I wasn't registered yet. I wasn't ready. And now, money is not flowing like it was back in 2020 and 2021. So now we're back to regular. This is normal. And so, now you got to go back. But before, they were throwing money left and right all over the place. And you could utilize that money to grow. And I hope many of you actually did do that. And if you didn't, I'm so sorry, because that opportunity will never come again across your pathway in this whole entire lifetime. That was a once in a lifetime occurrence. And so today, that's what we're going to talk about: business and money smarts. And I love this statement: "A fool and his money will soon depart."
That's right.
Because that's what happens. And we hear about it. When people talk about, oh, if I win the lottery, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. But it's absolutely amazing. The people that have won the lottery has either given it away to everyone that they knew, and not understanding how they were supposed to take that money and let that money last them for a lifetime, or they were scammed out of their money, or they spent it on frivolous stuff that had no value to it.
I think there's some research numbers out there, Crystal, that said about 64% of lottery winners end up in poverty. They go broke because they didn't know how to manage that money. You're in a situation where you didn't have certain things, and then all of a sudden you get a lot of those things, and then you don't know what to do with it. So you start messing up. So that's why.
And can you imagine that, Gilbert? You didn't spend your whole life poor as church mice.
Yeah.
And you finally get your hands on, several $1 million.
And you blow it.
And you blow it, and you back to being within a year or 2 years or 5 years of being poorer than a church mouse. Because
I tell you, Crystal, that will never, ever happen to me. And I'm going to tell you why it will never happen to me. When I came to this country, Crystal, I came here with $150 in my pocket. 150. Wow. That's all I had, 150. And when I took the cab from the airport, the cab driver blocked me. He got me almost 50% of it. I'm going, what? So I had to live on the remaining balance, before I could go get a job and all of those things. So I grew that $150 to what I have today. So I'm telling you, that will never happen to me. I'm very frugal, man. Very frugal.
Because you've lived the experience. So that's what we want you as business owners. And a lot of times, Gilbert, businesses say, oh, my business could really grow if I had X amount of dollars. And I'm going to tell you from my experience as a accounting in the bookkeeping space, I have worked with companies, and one company in particular, they were able to acquire $12 million in investment monies, and they blew through $12 million in 1 year.
That's in the dot-com days, right?
That was in the dot-com days. But that's just not in the dot-com days, because, you know, Gilbert, that young lady, Theranos, the one that created the blood testing, her name was Elizabeth Holmes. They've been doing hey, Kevin. They've been doing a thing on Hulu about her. It's called The Dropout. So if you guys haven't watched it, you really should watch it.
Yeah.
She acquired about $9 million in her company. And at the end of the day, now she has no money because she created a fraudulent company.
Wow.
And she had all these scientists and engineers, and you know, she blew through money. She blew through the first 6 million like in a year, within 6 months. So having money doesn't necessarily mean and guarantee that you're going to be successful and that you're going to grow your business. If you don't understand it doesn't really matter how much money you have.
And that's why in my workshops, Crystal, I have this phrase that says, he who knows how to count his own money gets to keep it. If you know how to count your money, believe me, you will keep that thing. Because if you can't count it yourself, you bring in experts to help you count that money. You see what I'm saying? Because what you don't want is, you don't want the IRS count your money for you. You don't want those scammers out there count your money for you. So you better learn how. Otherwise, you might end up without it.
Exactly. So that's what we kind of talked about last week, is just all of the areas that you had to really pay attention to. Today, we're going to talk about building banking relationships, because there will be a point in time in your business when you're going to need some funds for your business. So the first thing we want to say, Gilbert, we were talking about this. So when you're going into business, the first areas that you should really be paying attention to is obviously, what are you going to offer? Who are going to be your customers? I mean, your target market, and how you're going to deliver that to your target market. And then next, where is your structure of your business, right? That's very important. And we're going to talk about that as well. But next is, where you going to put your money? Because I have noticed in my practice that wherever your personal account was, that's generally where you leave your business account.
That's true. That is so true. That is so true for a lot of the small businesses that I've dealt with. So true, man.
So not thinking of what the future is going to entail, just thinking, okay, I got an account there, I'm just going to open up another account there as well. There should be some thought into what bank you're putting your money in.
Yeah.
And not from a brand standpoint, but from what bank is going to provide you with the services that you're going to need for your business, for the growth of your business.
And how the small businesses want to look at opening a bank account and choosing a bank for their bank account is, I want you to imagine, just like you're getting into a relationship with someone, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a husband, a wife, that kind of person that you're trying to take on to share your life with you. You're doing all this background check on them. You're making sure that they've got the qualities that you're looking for. You're making sure that they're a good partner. It's the same thing you should do with your bank. Conduct background check on them. Find out, did they discriminate against businesses like yours? Do they dismiss business like yours? Do they work with businesses like yours? Do they give you opportunities? And what type of interest rate are they offering in their programs? What other programs do they have to help build small businesses? You want to know those things before you jump in bed and open an account with a bank.
You do.
Unbelievable.
And you want you want to build a relationship. So you want to go, and when you're sitting down with the person who's opening your account, you also want them to introduce you to the bank manager.
That's right.
And whoever the business bank, because everyone, I'm sure you guys, some of you may know this, retail seems to know this, but other businesses don't, that we each have a representative at the bank that we bank at.
That's right.
From a business standpoint, you don't even have to stand in line where the regular people are standing. You can go over to the business line, which is usually hardly anybody over there. So that's why I know that you guys don't know who the people are and what's going on. Because there's usually one person over there, and usually that person is someone that is there is someone that is coming in to get coins for their retail business. That's when that happens, right?
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that you understand that, as Gilbert said, your bank should include resources. Customer service is right on top of that.
Customer service is top.
Yeah. And the technology and the services that you need. I personally love the fact that when I go into my bank, they know me by name.
That's right. They need to know you by name. You don't want to walk in there and they just treating you like another account. You want them to know you by, and you want to know them by name as well. So if they don't initiate that, you want to walk in there, hi, Mary, how are you today? Have a conversation with them. Start talking to them.
Exactly. So get to know them, because if something goes on, if they know you by name and you need to call, they will take care of it right away. But if you're just another number, another banking customer amongst the thousands that they have, they're going to take you kind of through the run. They're going to run you through the procedure, as opposed to, Miss Crystal, I will get on that right away and I will call you back.
Yeah.
Right.
My bank manager, Crystal, he and I have such a great relationship where I call him up when I need stuff done, or I tell him, hey, I'm on my way over to the bank right now. Can you go ahead and get these things ready for me? So when I get there, all I need to do is sign, or all I need to do is just, process things. And he does that for me. I want to have certain reports run, give me a printout of my activities over the last 60 days. He does those things, that's the kind of relationships we have.
Right. My bank, I over to the security guard. He meets me at the door.
I love it.
And then when I come in, everybody speaks. And at that they have two, they used to have 3 branches and they all knew me. Now there's 2 branches. But if I go into the other branch downtown LA, they know me as well. So they know who I am. Sometimes I can't, if I go in, my head is full of stuff. I can't remember their number. They're like, don't worry about it, Miss Crystal, I got it. Miss Mitchell, I got it. We got it. We know who you are. So this is the relationship. So you want to build that banking relationship early on. Then you want to make sure that that they have all the services you need, business credit, lines of credit. You want to sit down with these bankers and let them know what your future plans are.
And these are the reasons why building that relationship is so key, because when you're in there and you're talking to the manager or whomever you're talking to about the growth of your business, you're telling them where your business is headed, where it's going, what you're doing. I'm currently negotiating a contract with Metro or whomever right now. There's this bid that I just won. It's for X amount of dollars. When they're hearing those things and they're seeing that there's potential growth in your business, now they want to get involved. Now they want to say, okay, how can we help you? Well, here's how you can help me. We need a line of credit for about 100,000 or 150,000. Then they start looking at what you have and what you got going, because those are the types of things that's going to help move you along.
Right. And look at increase your business efficiency with that bank. So add on more business services with them. Open up maybe a payroll account, and as opposed to everything coming through one account. So having a savings account, having a CD account. So because banks are in business as well, and they make their money off of your money. that's their business model. So the more activities that are going on there that you have and services you have with them, the more bankable you become as a customer to them.
Yes.
So, and they may be you may be a VIP customer, and they will give you a call when they have new loan products coming out, or new products that will better serve your business. But if they don't know who you are, they cannot do that.
Right.
So just to know that. Then I am going to have to say this because of the nature of what I do for a living. Make sure your bank's accounts are reconciled. It prevents cyber uh, 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 um,
Attacks and
attacks on your account. Because if you don't know what's going on in your bank, because you're not reconciling the bank ever on a monthly basis or a frequent basis, but definitely monthly basis, and you only somebody comes into your books at the end of the year in order to prepare yourself for for taxes, but along the line, all kinds of havoc could have been taking place in your bank. And if you have a large bank balances, sometimes it's hard to see little money's coming out of your bank. You always wonder, how in the heck can someone accountant or bookkeeper or some manager that has office manager that has access to your bank account, how they can embezzle money? The only way I know that happens is that you leave it completely up to someone else to interact on it, and you never ever look at the accounts. And then you come along and realize, whoa, they didn't taken all my money. And that happens more often than not.
Quick story here, Crystal. I had a client that I've been telling for years that they need to look at their bank statement every month when they need to conduct their balance sheet and profit and loss statement, generate the balance sheet and profit and loss statement every month so they know what's going on. Now, I don't need to do that. I got my accountant or my bookkeeper that takes care of this. And I said, even though you have this person, you still need to provide oversight. You need to know what's going on in those accounts, because if there's an error made on the bookkeeper's part, then at least you can catch it, and then you guys can reconcile it. Oh, no, I don't need to do that. Well, 12 months later, he calls me up and he's complaining. He's going, hey, my bookkeeper took $25,000 out of my account and went to Mexico. I said, this is exactly what I've been trying to tell you. You need to reconcile. And the bookkeeper was taking out a little bit every month. Every month taking a little bit, right? And then when it adds up to 25 grand, that person decides to, okay, I'm going to go. Because the reason the bookkeeper left, because they know, okay, at the end of the year, you're going to do taxes, you're going to reconcile all of these things, and they're going to find out that I took this money. It was crazy. So all of a sudden he's going, oh, I wish I had listened to you. Well, it's too late.
Hindsight.
Yep,
So yes, making sure. Now here's what happens, and you might find it, some people might find it a nuisance. So where I bank, anything that comes in that has a foreign address at my bank, I get a text, and it says, are these transactions that you initiated?
I love that.
We see that it has a foreign, because the apps sometimes are created in other countries, right? And we see that this potential, is this yours? And so I always respond, yes, that's mine. But there was one time I received a phone call from them to say, are you in Oregon? And I was like, no, I'm not. And they're like, oh, somebody's using your bank card or trying to use the number. I'm not sure how they got it, because they didn't have my card. They're using and charging something in Oregon. So where are you? And I said, I'm in Los Angeles. So that's where you live. Right. Mm-hmm. So that's not me. Well, we'll shut everything down because something is happening. So there were several fraudulent charges that were trying to come through. So they called me to make sure. They didn't even send a text this time. They called me.
See, that again lends itself to having that good relationship with your bankers, because then they see that. They know it's not you. They just talked to you yesterday. They know
Right.
you're not in orbit. You see what I'm saying? So those are just amazing things, guys, that you really need to do with your business. Establish that relationship, man.
And consistency. So they kind of knew how I did business.
Yeah.
They were just like I do on the other side of it. I see how I can tell exactly how a business is doing just by how the transactions are going in their business, right?
Yeah.
And you see
Yeah.
you see a consistency, the same repeat transactions that happen month after month after month.
Yeah.
And so the banks also recognize that. And so when they see something coming in, but if you have no relationship with your bank, then they're not going to be making phone calls to you.
Right.
It's going to
Right.
be too late by the time you catch it, because, and especially now, what's going on in Russia is really imperative. If you guys take nothing from today, check your bank accounts right now,
Yeah.
because the Russian hackers are at their all-time high, and as this
Yeah.
war continues on, this is going to become a major problem. So you want to make sure. And that lends me to the next conversation, is avoiding scams and fraud.
Yeah.
I notice that the over 50 crowd is not they for first of all, they're not all that tech savvy.
Yeah.
And so the hackers know that they're not that tech savvy. And so you are the target.
Yes.
And you have money, you have bank accounts, you have savings accounts, you have this and that. So you need to get tech savvy so that you understand what's happening. And I have to say, if you're in business, it's cool to use the e-commerce point of services systems. It's okay, but you have to be really diligent about which one. Don't use all of them. Use one or two, and make sure that those one or two are secure.
Yes.
Because and make sure you understand what their policies are on the other side. I tend to use PayPal for those convenient type of PayPal or Stripe, because they have some regulations on the backside. So if you think something is fraudulent that has come through PayPal, you notify PayPal immediately, and they'll put a halt to it being drawn out of your account, or they will pull it back.
Yeah.
And so that way you can protect your stuff. Or I know you use AuthorityNet.
Authorize that net.
Authorized net. So, making sure that whatever money processing systems that you're using, merchant processing systems that you're using, that they're secure. Don't just assume.
Yeah.
Do your background check to make
Yeah.
sure. And I would even suggest doing a little research through Yelp or the Better Business Bureau to make sure, because things can happen. And again, that's money. Once it comes out, it's gone.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're using some of these other and just don't be just because it comes in your email and it looks good, it don't mean that is it good. So
No.
fast money is never good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
I feel. So
we need to be real vigilant as small businesses, man. We need to be on top of our business, our money, and our operations.
right. And if someone's calling you, I know you guys know this. If someone's calling you, even on your business line, don't assume that they're right. In the very beginning, when my bank would text me or call me and say something was going on, I'd call them and say, did you just call me? I'm calling you. I'm not calling the number they told me to call. I'm calling my branch and say, did you just call me?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make sure. So make sure of that. Be careful of donating to fake charities. That's going on right now. Make sure that supplies that you're ordering, that there's no duplicates. So check with the companies. I just saw where is this, at Stanford? I think it was Stanford. A someone in their administration, they were able to do the double billing thing, and close to $1 million
Wow.
And they were buying houses, more than that. It must have been
Wow.
much more than that, because they were buying houses and cars, and they just tracked it down just now. And this has been going on for a number of years.
And the thing about that is, when those people get caught, there's not the punishment, it's not really that great. So it's like they make out like a bandit twice over, because they rip you off as a consumer, and then they don't get penalized long enough to make it worth anything.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't happen. And so, tips for making sure that you're keeping track of your money, guys. Reconcile your bank statements monthly at a minimum. With QuickBooks now, you can or most of the softwares, you can actually do bank feeds, so you can really do day-to-day reconciliation. You just go in and look at your account online. You can look at it, actually will update into your accounting system, to your QuickBooks system or Wave or whichever you're using, and you can see the transactions, and then that way you can jump on them in a timely manner. Make sure if you see any discrepancies, reach out to your bank immediately. Banks make mistakes as well. They do their reconciliation at night, and most of the time it's done by humans. And so they can make a mistake. I've known personally, I've seen it with clients, where if you bank with a certain bank, money, what you thought you had deposited had been deposited into somebody else's account, and then of course now checks are bouncing in yours. So make sure when you go to make a deposit that night or that next day, make sure that it went into your account, and address that right away. Verify the amounts paid on your checks. Make sure that you wrote them, and retain records, especially if you're doing remote deposits, scanning software today. So make sure, yes, it's a convenience, but stuff happens.
Exactly. And there's something else you want to pay attention to, folks. If money's being sent to you electronically, you want to make sure you know what options you're choosing to get that money to you. If you use the ACH method, then there isn't any cost, it shouldn't be any cost to you. But if you use the wire transfer method, then it's going to jack your account at least $10. So you want to know that for every transaction. So if you have 10 transactions, if you got 10 transactions coming in through the wire transfer, that's going to be $10 per transaction. That's $100. You want to be on top of those things too. So that's why what Crystal is saying is so key. You really, really want to pay attention to your account like a hawk. You want to count your money. Again, like I said, if you don't know how to count your money, someone else will count it. Greg
depending on the bank, they can be between $25 and $35.
Yeah, Greg.
That's why I use my accounting QuickBooks. I use QuickBooks for my business, and you can actually get paid through that system. You send the link, they pay you through that. Is like 2.75% or 2.9% of whatever that amount coming in. Far better than $25 for every transfer, or $35, because that stuff does add up. So I use that system. And also, if you use a system like that, and as opposed to waiting for payments, you can get paid faster. So that then the turnaround for your cash flow is much better, and it works on your behalf and not on their behalf. So make it easy.
I'm sure Greg Sneed, you've been working in this financial industry for a while. You probably have come across some anomalies that you can share with us, right? So go ahead and put some stuff in the chat so we can see, some of the things some misconceptions or some myths that people have, and that could hurt their bank accounts. So go ahead and do that for us.
And I also heard, Gilbert, during the pandemic, this was through Stephen Turner, because he's in the insurance part of the financial world. And early on, and then another friend of mine, he's in the retirement piece. Early on during the pandemic, you could pull money from your 401k and not be penalized. There's only a short, small window. And also you could borrow from your insurances, your life insurances, and that could have tied you over as well without penalty on the other side of it. So again, being connected and having relationships with your financial team is really important. And included in that financial team is your insurance agent, and your besides your bookkeeper and your CPA and your attorney, they also are beneficial. Greg says bank fees are higher with commercial banks, especially B of A. So again, making sure that your the bank that you're going to put your money in is the bank that meets your needs. It's so amazing. Yeah, credit unions are great resources, especially if they have business accounts. And they usually, if you have a relationship with them, and isn't it amazing, Gilbert? Most people with credit unions have a relationship with the credit union.
Yes, exactly.
But they have no relationship with the bank they're doing with.
That is so amazing, man. That is so amazing.
So credit unions, you feel that they're your friends.
Yeah.
And so you go in and you talk to them and you chit chat with them when you need a bank loan or what have you. But not with your bank. So you want to make sure with your bank that you are, hey, Robert, glad you joined us, Robert Foster.
Hey, Robert, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the Business
Zone. But yeah, it's just amazing to me. So make sure. But here's the thing. If I'm a successful business and I have hundreds of thousands of dollars in my bank, my business checking account, and then I have other and not large to get transferred to other and not that large to get yeah, that's true.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true. But if I am banking with a bank and I'm in need of money and I go to that bank where I've been banking for years and they tell me no, that I am not a good candidate. And I've been putting all my money over here.
I'm taking my money out of there. I'm taking my money out of there, man.
That makes no sense to me. Why would you leave it there?
You're helping them to build their empire, and they're telling you, "Hey, you're not worthy. Your money is okay to us."
And it's okay if maybe I'm not bank loan ready right now, but okay, right now we can't. But let's have a conversation.
Yeah,
and let's sit down and talk about what we need to do to get you in that place. This is what we need to do. Here's your manager. Here's your bank branch manager.
Yeah.
Here's your bank representative, and they're going to work with you. So just know, guys, this is your money.
Yeah.
They're not doing you a favor by letting you put your money in their bank.
And also, folks, you want to know that when you're selecting a bank, when you go to a bank to open an account, you are not subordinate to them. You don't go in there going, please, can I open a bank account with your bank? No, you are interviewing them to see if that's a good place for you to put your money. That's what you're doing. And if you say, well, while my business is growing, can I speak to you about obtaining a line of credit? Say, well, we don't really do that. Oh, really? All right. Well, you're no longer a good candidate for me. I'm moving on to the next bank. And that's how it should be.
Yeah. Yes, you have to have input in with the bank. So I'm going to highly recommend, if you guys don't, go tomorrow or go on Monday. Ask is your bank, be introduced to the branch manager. Find out who your representative is at the bank, get their contact information, make an appointment. Now, I don't know and this is important now because banks are going to non-people type of interactions now, virtual interactions. Yeah. So I don't know how you create a relationship with a virtual bank. So it's all about the computer. So you want to start that now, because down the line, that is going to be, how some banks are doing. Bank of America's like that. I remember, Gilbert, I was standing in line at Bank of America. It was around Christmas. I was going to do something for a client of mine. And so I'm standing there, and no holiday decorations, no nothing. It was just a farming of long lines of people right at the front at the counter. Today, people rob people. Greg said, old days, people rob banks. Today, the banks rob people. I agree with that. But I was standing in line, and then there was a little old man. He was sitting up at the front of, and there was one of those automatic tellers sitting right there at the teller counter, right?
Yeah.
No privacy. This man is having to discuss his business, not in some little cubby hole off the lobby. He was sitting right there in direct line with the line for the tellers, having this conversation about his finances, trying to get an understanding of where his money was and all. And I think there was some sort of fraudulent stuff happening with him.
And you know they were asking him about his account number too, right?
All of that information was being and he's older, so he's trying to talk to the phone, yelling at the phone.
Yeah.
And so a bank rep came up and she says, they were going through the line and said, are you a customer of BFA? I said, I'm not, but my client is. So I was making a deposit for them. It's like, well, where's your account? You don't have an account here? I said, no, I don't. And there's like, would you like an open an account here? I'm looking around like, hell no. Yeah, y'all got one little stream of Christmas lights. I go to my bank around the corner. We got a whole Christmas tree and a wreath.
And on top of that, you go back next 2 months, you don't see that same employee there anymore. You know,
don't see that employee there.
2 months, they get rid of their employees, man. It's
right. Like they know me by name. The security guard knows me by name. Everybody knows. No, I'm going back over there to my neighborhood Cheers bank where they know me by name. Like, no, this is what you.
Are you matching funds at my deposit?
Right. So right. Exactly. So no. So you guys. So basically, again, this segment is about being money smart, understanding business literacy. So thought has to go into where you have your money. The people that you have your money that are custodians of your money, such as banks and so forth, they should be there for you when you need them. You shouldn't have to beg.
Yeah.
Right. They should be there for you. So we just want to make sure, as Gilbert says, make sure you understand that when you go to interview your bank.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I have to say on literacy. Now I'm going to turn it over to Gilbert because Gilbert is going to talk about safekeeping the documents.
That's right. That's right. Many small businesses, man, they safekeep their documents in some boxes in their office or in the home somewhere. And those documents sit there, and then they sit there so long that they forgot where those documents are. So that's why you see many small businesses are always scrambling around trying to find their documents. And research has shown that small businesses, it costs them over $500 million every year trying to find misplaced documents or documents that they didn't have. They're not sure if they have, but they know it should be there, or trying to create documents. Because if you had the documents before and you know you had it, but you can't find it, now you got to recreate that document. So if it's, for example, if it's your fictitious business name, then you got to go back and file it again, and it costs you time, money, and resources. So yes, we want to make sure that as small businesses, you have some kind of digital platform to store your documents, so you can easily access those documents in seconds. Now, I know some of you may say that there is a lot of other platforms out there. I'm not going to name names, but there's some that you've been using and you think it's okay. What you don't realize is that those platforms, they don't remind you when your documents are getting ready to expire. So that is a key thing for you to want to have. Just like you're interviewing the banks to make sure that they're going to provide you the type of resources and access the opportunities that you're looking for to grow your business. It's the same way you got to look at digital platforms out there to see which one is really going to provide me that access to my documents quickly and have it available in 0 time. That's what you're trying to do. So our platform that we present to many of our small businesses, SmallBizPro, is a platform that you can use. And the reason this platform is so critical, as a business owner, many small businesses are not sure what documents they need to run the business. They're not sure. This platform tells you what documents you need to have in place to run your business, which is really, really key for you, the small business owner, because you're in such a hurry running your business, trying to generate money, trying to take care of your customers, trying to do the things you do. So you don't really have time to pay attention to the back office as to what documents you should have or whether or not those documents are present. So that's one of the things that we want you to pay attention to. Have an electronic, a digital system that will allow you to store and monitor your documents so you can access it in seconds. Now, I have a client that, she did a workshop. She did a workshop for me, right? And then so Crystal has a platform right up there on the screen so you guys can see it. This is a platform, SmallBizPro. You guys can go here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a link in the chat that you guys can use. This is a free 10-day trial that you guys can try out this platform. Check it out. See what it's all about. And if you like it, you contact me, let me know, and I'll get you guys set up in it so you can run your business. But this client of mine, she did a workshop, and after she conducted the workshop, now it's time for her to get paid. So the first thing she did was to put together her invoice and submitted her invoice. But everyone knows, if you're in this space, if you're in the consulting space, and you're in professional services, you know that when you perform a task, the first thing they're going to ask you for is your invoice, and the second thing they're going to ask, well, I should say the other way around. The first thing they're going to ask you for is a W-9, a Form W-9. They're going to ask you for that because IRS requires that. So on that form, you're going to state your business name, your EIN number, a business address. You're going to sign it, date it, bam, send it to them so they can pay you your money. Well, this person submitted her invoice and didn't have a W-9 filled out. So she had to go back and forth with the contract provider to pay her money. Now, if you had a digital system with this form already available and there for you, you could just easily send a W-9 along with your invoice and you'd be paid in a short period of time. So these are some examples of why you guys need a digital system. Now, sometimes you guys are on the road, and this was one of her problems. She was on the road traveling to client to client, so she couldn't get back in the office to prepare her W-9 and send it out. With our platform, you guys already create your W-9. If you don't know where to find it, we have some templates and some sample documents when you log into the system and you go to the dashboard and you choose business management. Underneath that, it shows you the 4 segments, the 4 sectors of your back office. And the one that you're going to go to for this form is going to be under general operations management. So that's what you want to do. You want to be able to access that. Greg said, I do not use mobile banking on my phone, only from a desktop PC. That helps things to be secure, Gregory. That's a good point.
What I do. I'm more comfortable with PC as opposed to because you could be walking by and somebody can snatch, and you don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but somebody can just snatch it out of the airways. And so I feel much more comfortable when I'm at my desktop doing this.
Exactly. And see, that's what this thing does for you. It allows you to access it from your desktop, wherever you are, your desktop, your smartphone, your tablet, whatever, to get the information out there in seconds. As a matter of fact, we were counting how long it would take to transmit the document, Crystal. 6 seconds. That's how long it takes. 6 seconds to get your document from wherever you are in the cloud to
Right.
your client or your contract provider. So you guys want to be able to do that. So keep that in mind. Your balance sheet, your profit and loss, and I'm sure Crystal is going to talk a little bit about that too. Your Tivoli Garden. What's that? Like
He
walking
said, walking around with a wad of cash, just waiting to be robbed.
Tivoli Garden is a community, right, in Jamaica. It's like a
Oh, okay.
hood. It's a hood,
Oh,
right, in Jamaica. And it's all, gangsters and all of that. So that's what Greg is saying. That's like walking around with a wad of cash in Tivoli Gardens.
you are a attraction.
Yes, yes,
You are
exactly.
you like low hanging fruit for the gangsters.
Exactly. So you guys definitely, you want to have a digital platform that will help you not only with just your financial documents, but all your documents in your organization. Now, one thing else I want to put out there, and if this doesn't convince you, I don't know what else will convince you. But when you go to the store, hardware store like Home Depot, Lowe's, or even Costco, you go to Costco to buy office supplies or whatever, you get a receipt. That receipt, if you look at that receipt again in like 2 weeks, the information on that receipt is gone. It disappears. I don't know how they create those receipts that way, but they disappear. Now, when you put it in this digital platform we're talking about, SmallBizPro, it keeps it forever. You can refer back, even if you're going to do your taxes or whatever, you've got that receipt in there. So, yes, guys, that's really what we're talking about.
Right, exactly. So you want to, and Gilbert, I can tell you about receipts because I have had clients deliver receipts to me
In shoe boxes, right?
in shoe boxes and plastic bags and over a year. And of course the receipts then stuck all together and so they didn't created double impressions on the receipts, or it just disappeared totally. It's like, well, if that was a deduction, it is no longer a deduction because it's imagined, it's invisible.
Yeah. Gregory said that it's a thermal printing and the heat wipes out print.
Right. So
which is unbelievable,
So there you go. So you don't have, so what we think is what we think is a safe proof, it is not. So these platforms are created to make sure that when someone asks you for this information, all you have to do is go and upload, and it will keep you it'll keep you in tune. Keep you notified of what is due, when it's due, and you have a central location for all of your documents. Really important for nonprofits, because a lot of times we run into issues getting our tax documents and the Secretary of State documents, and they don't necessarily always inform you of that Secretary of State document, so you're always late. Now with your business registration fee, if you don't get it in by a certain date, then they're going to jack you up, as Gilbert would say. So everybody's always looking for a way to take your money from you.
Yeah. And even with the nonprofits, Crystal, many nonprofits, they live off grants, right? So you may be applying for a grant as a nonprofit, and one of the questions on there is, provide us your meeting minutes for the last 3 years or the last 2 years. Now, you may not have access to that because wherever you are preparing this proposal, you may not have access to the file in your office. This digital platform has this available for you guys in the cloud. You can access it, using any of your mobile devices or your desktop, whatever, and you can get that to them or include it in your grant. So that's something else, guys, you want to think about. And what the platform does, it reminds you 90 days before these documents expire. 90 days, it sends you a notice. Hey, this document is going to expire. Do you want to renew it now? And you may not be ready, and it will just stay there, and it keeps reminding you. 60 days, it reminds you again. 30 days, it reminds you, and it keeps reminding you until the last day. So these are things that small businesses need, because they're so busy trying to generate revenues, they don't have time to think about these documents and This will prevent documents from expiring on you. I see Jasmine Haley checking in. She said, "Happy Friday, everyone."
Hey, Jasmine, how are you?
Happy Friday, Jasmine.
So again, this is part of that, your business financial literacy, making sure that you're staying top of, so that when opportunities show up or when crises appear in front of you, you have resources, you have options. And without options, it's very difficult to run a business. So don't be
Crystal, you want to talk to them a little bit about P&L and balance sheet?
Right. So after you guys have gone through and your books are reconciled at the end of the year, or because you've reconciled every month at the end of the year, so then you run a profit and a loss statement, and that profit and loss statement will let you know, how you did. How did the business do during the year? How much money did you make? How much money did you spend? Where did you spend your most money? How much were your cost of goods? And you'll get an understanding of what that ratio to running a business, especially if you're using cost of goods. You have cost of goods. It lets you know what the ratio to your gross profit is, and then also how much money you're spending in fixed expenses, which are things like mortgages, which is your utilities, your rent, things like that. I was working with a client the other day, just taught them how to use and get everything into Wave software, to an accounting software. We ran the report. They did a fantastic job. I was very proud of them. They ran a report. We ran a report, and I said, "Whoa, is this the correct amount for the rent?" And so they said, "Yes, that's how much." I went, "Whoa." So just the rent alone had them in the hole. But they have a job. So the job was actually paying the rent. I said, "So now let's look at these numbers." The highest, that she had, that the person had consultants to do some training. She has a school, do some training for her, but she was paying so much for the facility. I said, "So you are either going to have to increase your prices, or you're going to have to, just to break even, just to pay for your rent for the location you're in, to even break even there." But the goal is to have a profit. So looking at what you see here, she goes, "Woo!" I said, "So this is your first year in business, second year in business, but the first year was like pandemic, so that doesn't count. So first year would really be the 2021." And so I said, "So now for 2022, I hope you have some things in place that you can start recouping, or at least be able to break even on your monthly expenses, because you can't keep running a business like this."
Right.
Because you're gonna run it right into the hole, and all the money is going into this empty pot, like the money pit, and it's not creating any. So that's why you run a P&L, is to find out exactly what is the ratios of your expenses, where you are in real time. She was going to need a money tree. Greg says she's going to need a money tree, but where you are right now. Then the balance sheet is kind of giving you an overall view of the assets and the liabilities that your company has. So I was working intently with both profit and loss statements this week and balance sheets. I have a company going public, so I had to go in and make some adjustments to the balance sheet to make sure it reflected the stock warrants that they were issuing. So I had to make sure everything was in the right place. And for me, when I've done the books and reconcile, so reconciliation is one way for me to know that everything has been accounted for on the bank statement and in QuickBooks. So that's that helps me solidify that when I run the P&L, all the monies and all the money's coming in and the money's going out has been documented, right?
Yeah. You know what I notice also, Crystal, when I deal with many of my small businesses, when you're telling them about their profit and loss statements and what it should look like so they can end up with a profit, they're going, yeah, I don't need to listen to that. End of year, I'm going to have a profit anyway. So when you take the information on the profit and loss statement, so let's use rent as an example, because you mentioned that rent was super high for this one client. So let's say the rent is 40,000 and sales is 100,000, right? You're going to take the expense. You always divide your sales into your expenses. So you take the 40,000, you divide 100,000 into the 40,000, and you get to see what percentage off sale is your rent. You start seeing, oh my God, my rent is 40% of sales. My rent alone. That gets small business paying attention, because now they're going, oh my God, I can't believe that I'm paying so much to rent. So I always put the little percentages right beside the expense amount and also the income amount on the sales amount on the profit and loss statement. That opened their eyes.
Yeah, it opens so you can see the percentage. Same thing with payroll. You know, on an average, payroll could be 30, 40, 50% of your income, of your expenses, right? And then you take 40% of that for your rent. All very fixed expenses, and you can't, unless you fire everybody and operate your business in your home or in the hallway. But you're under contract, so
or like Greg said, keep two sets of books, right?
Yeah, 2 sets of books. The books for the man and the books for the other man. And I told Greg that's in big business. They always have 2 sets of books. Especially in unethical businesses. But that balance sheet and that P&L can really give you the true story of your business. And it can help you. And I always tell a client when I'm teaching them how to use QuickBooks, I always tell them, so now run the report. So when you run the report, if we see things that jump out at you on a P&L is anything negative, there should be no negatives on your P&L unless it's at the bottom. And it's after you done deducted your expenses from your net pay revenue profit. Then that could be negative, but within the body of it, never. I said, so if you see that, you know that you've not put something in the right place. So that makes you check. And the same thing when you run your profit and loss, checking and seeing, if your bank statements, if the credit card statements are and the bank loans are equivalent to the statements that you receive from those entities. So this is a way to make sure that you're running your business and staying on top of what's happening in your business. So we don't let our finances, one for the banker and the other one for the iris. True that.
Iris.
But I must say to you, business owners, so it's more to running a business than just selling the product. It's so much more to it. And if you can master, I listen to Warren Buffett, and that man is just, is he 90 something years old or 87 years old, and he's been in business forever. And his advice is always watch your money, invest in businesses that you've studied and that are doing well. If it's too good, what do you say? If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
He's like a wise old, those wild old.
He is just like, so don't be falling for the okie doke. That he don't like fast talkers. He said, so and if he doesn't, in his mind, if he doesn't understand it, then he can't invest in it. So listen to these guys. His friend Charlie's even more cantankerous than he is. These are billionaires. These are people that have lived their whole life running regular business, not fancy businesses, regular business like and I are running.
That means they've stumbled along the way and they learned some things the hard way as well. So we need to learn from that. And we want our small businesses to really start paying attention to their financial statements and the business. You have to pay attention. That's the only way you'll become a more competent business owner and a more responsible business owner. You gotta pay attention to those financials.
Right. So that is our presentation for Financial Literacy Month. Greg, financial guru, any wise words of wisdom you want to tell a person for the personal, how to manage their money personally? But yeah, so important to understand money. You can't get rich not understanding how money works.
Yeah, you gotta know. And like I say, we're here, folks. We're here to help you, guide you guys along. Don't feel too proud to ask for help, because I remember I myself, I know a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff, but I still don't know enough about some of the stuff out there. So I reach out to folks, and one of the things you want to do is to get yourself an advisory team. Get an advisory team on your team. Okay, you want to get someone in the banking field as an advisor. You want to get someone in the attorney field as an advisor. You want to get someone who is knowledgeable on the economy as an advisor, because those are folks that can tell you about trends. They can tell you about things that's coming down the pike or things that happened in the past. And everything in life is cyclical. Whatever happened 10, 20 years ago will be happening again. Look at COVID, right? We had the polio and we had the syphilis scare and all of those things back in the day, right? Yeah. And it comes back full, the Black Plague and all of that, right? It comes back full circle with COVID this time. So everything that happened before will happen again. It's not a guess. It's not a prediction. It's something that
it's a reality. Yeah. I actually heard Gilbert the other day. I was reading something, and they were talking about COVID, and everybody said, it was fake and all that sort of stuff. And they were saying, actually, the Spanish flu never went away. Yeah. They just contained it. So exactly. the flu shot that you get, anybody is getting their flu shot, that is actually the Spanish flu shot.
Wow.
And that's still amazing. Killing people. So we think that it just disappeared. So the pandemic, the COVID is not going to disappear. It's just going to, and at this point is metamorphosing into other stuff. But you have to take precautions to understand what's happening. Right.
You see Greg's advice there, Greg? Yeah,
his advice. He charges. He said, go over there to Crystal and Gilbert. They learn from them. Thank you, Greg. We appreciate it.
We appreciate you, brother.
We'll send you paying clients. But you cannot run your business without paying attention to your financials.
Yes.
You have to. And as I said earlier, you don't want to invest all your time, your energy, your money, make the sacrifices that you made, and not pay attention to your money.
Crystal, maybe we should go over this little quick quiz here on your PowerPoint, the one on slide number 10, of true or false questions about starting a business or running a business. The one for the instructor.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Have to see it. So so that's basically, guys. Do I see it? Banking on the banking slides. Yeah. So 42 minutes to happy hour. And if you have questions, so in the money piece is interesting, because people never want to talk about money. They never want to talk about what they don't know about money. They prefer to stay in what is it, slide? What number?
So slide number 10, the true or false slides. It has 10 questions on it about, is starting a business, is that right for you? I think,
okay.
If owning a business is a good fit for you, I think that's something that every now and again folks need to go over, because sometimes when we take things for granted, we don't pay attention to the simple stuff that we need to pay attention to. So this right here, this is really an
Thank
easy
you,
one.
Greg. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Greg.
All
Appreciate
right.
you.
Found it.
Appreciate you joining us, my brother. So, so
I'm gonna
on
pull it
here,
up
did you
now.
find it? Did you find
I
it, Crystal?
did. So let me
Okay, good.
pull it up. Whoops. Go over here to slide 10. Give me a minute. So, whoops. And do this. Okay. So now
I think this will help to provide like a little refresher to many entrepreneurs as to why they started their business and why they feel it's a good idea.
All right.
There you go.
Right. So starting a business can be a huge personal sacrifice to your family. So you have to answer that question.
That's
Yes
true
or
or
no.
false?
True or false. There are a lot of emotional ups and downs to running a business that there are. True or false?
Yeah, that's true.
You have to get it right every time.
That's not so true
Right.
because
I always tell my clients of my classes that there is no perfection until you actually get the business in front of your your target market. They will let you know when you've got it right. They will let you know when you got it wrong.
and sometimes we try to get things right, even though we didn't get it right, but it still allow your business to operate and function. So, and sometimes when you don't get it right, that's a learning experience that you take to the next phase. So,
exactly.
Right.
Do you need a big cash reserve to be successful? We already talked about this. No, you do not.
No, you don't.
You just need to know how to use the cash that you got.
Know how to count your money. Know how to count your money. You don't know how to count it, someone else will count it for you.
After about a year, you can relax, enjoy your profits. Not even close. 5 years.
It's like running in a race, Crystal. It's like being an athlete. You're running in a race, and you have a big commanding lead, and you just start relaxing. You just start relaxing because you're thinking they're not going to catch you. Next thing you know, someone slips by you and win the race.
Yeah,
so that's what that is.
You guys can visit me over at the new Women's Business Center. I teach a class on that all the time. What are the steps and the phases of running a business? Number 6 is easy to get a loan for a great idea. Absolutely false with a capital false. If you have no business traction, no money traction, they don't know you from Adam because you don't have a relationship with your banker, they're not going to give you not one red cent.
Nada.
So ideas are ideas. Opportunities are once you've actually acquired and analyzed it to make sure that it's a feasible business model and it can make money. At that point, you still have to probably wait 2 to 3 years in order to be bank loan ready for your banker. Unless you have some technology that's just off the chain and making money right away, still they want to make sure that you're going to be around for the long haul. And most importantly, they want to make sure you, more than anything else, they really want to make sure you're going to pay them back. That's all they care about.
That's what they want. They want to know they're getting their money back.
So your idea is just that, an idea for them.
Yeah.
Successful entrepreneurs do it all by themselves. No, they do not.
Nope.
If they did
That's
it all
why
by
we need a team.
You need a team and some partners and some employees and a whole bunch of that stuff in order to be successful to be a successful entrepreneur. You will not have a boss. You do have a boss. He's called Uncle Sam. and he's called the state of California, and he's called the federal government. Those are your new bosses.
Those are all your bosses because they tell you how to run the business, what to do, when to do it.
Right. And you will have more freedom, control, and work-life balance. Not in the first 5 to 10 years, you will not.
No. Once you're an entrepreneur 24/7. So you're always thinking of things you didn't get done that day or things you need to do tomorrow.
Right. And it can also, you could be finding yourself working to 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, like I do, and like Gilbert does. And Gilbert actually goes further than I do. And the last one, I'm going to have to stop to share in order to starting a business is risky. And that was the last question. And you're absolutely right. Starting a business without research, without looking into it, without a business plan, without business model in place, without the right legal structure for you, without an accounting system, yes, it can be absolutely risky. But if you have those things in place, then you have a better chance of surviving as an entrepreneur. But if you just wing it and fly on the seat of your pants, yes, it's the most riskiest thing you will do in life.
and I thought these 10 bullet points would be so important to many of our viewers. So because sometimes we need a little refresher course, we need a refresh because we overlook something like some of the questions in here. We know the answer to it, but we tend to forget.
Yeah,
we don't want to forget.
And we might have been lucky in the very beginning. We may have been able to acquire monies and loans and things like that. But I don't know. Number 5, you can relax and enjoy your profits. That ain't never happened to not one entrepreneur, successful or unsuccessful.
You never relax. Never.
Until you get to the top of the pinnacle, there is no relaxation.
And the main reason why you never relax is because someone is always out there just waiting to take your lunch.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, in fact, it's more dangerous at the top because everybody know you at the top. So
you're a target. You're a target, man. You're a target. So no, because even me right now with my platform, I know there's some other platform or organization, lurking in the background, just waiting to jump up there and squash me, but
Gilbert, we tell our clients that we tell them when you're telling them how to start a business, know who your competitors are,
exactly,
and know who the new players coming in, because if your business is successful, if they've done their homework like you've done your homework, then there is somebody sitting there waiting for you. Now your job is to make sure you keep enhancing your product so that it doesn't get stagnant and you don't leave a gap for somebody else. But the minute you do, that's what you're supposed to do as a business owner. You're supposed to be looking for the gap. You're supposed
always
to be
expecting it, man. Always
expect it.
Yeah, that's why there's no break. You can't relax.
You can't relax. So, guys, that is our financial literacy for this week.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, you've been able to take some stuff away, and we will. I'm going to actually. It's going to be a minute, but I'm going to edit this into different segments because I think it's valuable.
Yes.
And send it out and put it on. You guys will see this on LinkedIn, and you'll see it. It's streaming live right now on Facebook and on YouTube. So go on over there, check it out, slow it down, take some information, get some notes. Reach out to Gilbert and I if you have any questions, and if you also need some assistance on understanding your money.
I'm putting my information in the chat right there, so you guys can reach me, and Crystal is going to do the same as well. So go ahead. There's my info right there. You got Coach Gilbert Buchanan. That's my number, 888-882-1168. Give me a call.
And I've actually forgot mine. Let me see, because I haven't used it. 7952, I think it is.
I know it's 458, right? 458, and then 5952.
Oh, thank you, Gilbert.
Is it 323? 323,
right? Yes, that's it. That's my number.
Okay.
So reach out to me, and you can also email me. And we are here for you. So you are tuned in to the Business Zone with
Gilbert Buchanan,
Crystal Mitchell, or the other way around. But anyway, we are here every Friday at 3:00, and we provide you with the information that you need to be successful and to continue to run successful businesses. Tune in to us every week. Tell a friend. Go to our YouTube channel and catch some of the shows that you haven't seen yet. We've been on the air this year, 6 years. and as of July 8th. And so we are the resources for our small business community. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you go over and you subscribe to our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our Twitter page, and our YouTube channel that you get notifications of when we are going to be on. If you want to be a guest on the show, please send an email or reach out to us as well, and we will love to have you on the show.
So you can tell us your story about your business, tell us about the purpose of you being in business and how you can help your customers much better.
Right. So we are here for you and hope you got a lot from the show. And we will see you guys all next week. So go on over to our YouTube channel. Make sure you click the bell, hit click the subscribe button. And we will see you all next week.
We're out.
We're out.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.